I'm sure that you have seen YouTube videos, thumbnails, news articles, headlines all about the empty shelves, hyperinflation, store limits, store shortages, all of the backlog of shipments being imported into the United States, not being able to get to where they need to go. It makes you think about what you have in your house and if you are prepared for whatever reason at all, not being able to go and pick up the things that you need or want for your family. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a list.
Wrong, it's a list.
Of things that you might want to consider. I don't think stockpiling is the right word, but procuring a few items of. Before we get into it, let's talk about the difference between like hoarding and what prepping or preparing for something, which is what I like better. Hoarding is this like, have to have all of it, clearing all of the shelves, no consideration for other people, panic buying, and that is not what I am talking about in this video. I am talking about preparing, systematically going through what you do have, what you don't have, what you should have, and then very slowly over the course of several weeks or several months, purchasing those items in small quantities so that you have them for your family. And I don't want you to ever feel like you shouldn't prepare for a loss of job, a potential move, maybe some shortages coming, maybe you suspect an increase in prices and you're worried about that. Maybe there's a blizzard and you can't go out. Whatever the issue is, sometimes it's just nice to have the things that you need in your house. There's nothing wrong with stocking up on a few things to take care of your family. You are responsible for taking care of your family. And as long as you're not being selfish in the stores and clearing the shelves, I don't see anything wrong with it. So here we go, 10 items you might wanna go stockpile or start stockpiling on right now. Okay, number one is the most obvious, and it is food. And when it comes to preparing for an emergency, there have been many instances where electricity has gone out, whether it's a hurricane or a tornado or that weird freeze that Texas had where they were without power for a week or whatever. I live in an area that gets blizzards and the power does go out sometimes. Like you physically cannot get into a car and make it to the store because the snow is so heavy. That's actually more of an issue than the power issue in my area, but hey, you never know what's gonna happen. So food is a great one to have, and shelf stable food is a great one to have. So we're talking your beans, your rice, your canned goods, canned beans, canned soups, canned meats, anything that does not require refrigeration or a freezer or anything like that, and that is easy to eat. The nice thing about a can of soup, like Campbell's Chunky or a Progressive, is that you can actually just pop the top and eat it the way it is. You don't have to add anything. You honestly don't have to cook any part of it. And I love storing beans and rice, but you do need to remember that you're gonna need to add water and a heat source in order to cook them. And you are more than welcome to stock up on refrigerator and freezer items as well, but if you are going to do that, make sure you have a generator on hand just in case power does go out. And once again, you're buying like 4 extra soups, 10 extra cans of green beans or whatever it is. You're not buying 50 cans at once. Let's go nice and slowly and accumulate in such a way that everyone else can do the same if they would like to. Now, food is not gonna do you much good if you don't have water. Water is number 2. You can go a whole lot longer without food than you can go without water. When I lived in Texas, we frequently had, what do they call it, a water ban, and you had to boil your water for so long, and I never really understood why that was happening. If the water treatment plant had an issue, I'm not really sure. So bottled water, long-term storage water, a great option to have, and that's just for drinking, let alone bathing, washing, clothes, brushing your teeth, all of those other things that you might need it for. And on the topic of water, maybe it's not just boiled water. Maybe you want to look into water purification tablets. They're really, really small. And then also you have those water purification bottles. We have a few of those that we take hiking with us, so we can just purify water in streams or lakes when we're up in the mountains. Because they're mostly clean, but it's supposed to take out all of the bacteria or anything that could potentially make you sick if you're not able to boil water, which is another option. Number 3 goes along with number 1 and 2, and that's to please not forget your pets. If you have a dog or cat, please stock up on some dog or cat food for your little critters as well as food for humans. And a big thanks to Solid Gold for sponsoring today's video. It is really, really easy to stock up on your dog and cat food by going through my link below, solidgoldpet.com/FFM, and you can save 30% on select solid gold products, which are shipped from Amazon right to your door, so you don't even have to go anywhere to stock up on the things that you need for your pets. Solid gold foods are different because they cleanse the digestive system with whole superfoods, balanced with living probiotics, which support gut health and nourish your pet inside and out. Their nutritional platform is inspired by their belief that high quality food is the best way to impact your pet's mind, body, and spirit. And we've had our toy poodle Speedy for 5 or 6 years. I can never remember if we got him in 2016 or 2015, but he is a rescue and he's getting up there in years, and I love giving him a high quality dog food, and I can guarantee that we have stocked up our long-term food storage with some solid gold pet food for him as well. Once again, check out the link below, solidgoldpet.com/FFM, 30% off of select products. First link in the doobly-doo. So you can stock up your food storage with goodies, regular dry food, wet food, bone broth, treats for your little furry friends as well. Number 4 is medicine. It is very frustrating when you have a family member who has a cold, like a head cold, or their throat is sore or something like that, and you don't have the products to give them to ease their symptoms. And when you go to the store to buy them, they are not there. That has happened to me, I'd say a lot in the last 2 years. And there's nothing that like breaks my mommy heart more than when your little kid doesn't feel good, and like maybe they have a fever, maybe their throat hurts, or maybe they're stuffy, or whatever it is, and you just want to give them something that's going to make them feel better, and you cannot do it. My stores in my area were very, very low on all medicines across the board. Even now, there are huge empty holes in things like traditional painkillers, band-aids, cough drops is always, things are missing, any kind of cold syrups. Just take a quick inventory, see what you have, and here are some suggestions of some just over-the-counter medicine items you might want to keep on hand. Your ibuprofen, acetaminophen, that's Tylenol. Don't forget about your children and infant varieties of those. If you have small children, you want to make sure your dosage is correct. Cold medicines, the Vicks like vapor cold medicine in the blue bottle is spectacular. I know it's pricey, but man, does that sucker work. Maybe you want Sudafed, any kind of sanitary products, and this is gonna be like your feminine hygiene products. If something happens, you don't have clean water or things like that, the cup is gonna be really difficult to clean out in a clean way. So just pick whichever thing that you're most comfortable with, maybe get a few extra. If you have a baby, some diapers and wipes would really go a long way. Not having those in an emergency situation would be very difficult, which leads me right into number 5, which is medical equipment. And that's gonna be your Band-Aids, rubbing alcohol, Neosporin, gloves, bug spray, maybe the bite stick, like the afterbite stick, is that what it's called? Maybe BioFreeze, or the over-the-counter ear drop or pink eye drops. Those actually work really well. Over the last year, we had a Band-Aid issue. Like we ran out of Band-Aids, and then we had a really hard time finding Band-Aids. And sometimes your kid just needs a dang Band-Aid. Number 6 is fuel. I'm talking more specifically about cooking. So if you don't have access to, let's say the power goes out and you have an electric stove and you can't use it, and you can't plug in your Instapot because you have no electricity, you know, we're talking a grill. Do you have a grill outside? Do you have a propane tank that goes with that grill? Do you have charcoal? If you have camping stoves that take the little propane tank or butane or white gas or something like that, take a look at what you have and what fuel source you need to feed your family, and make sure you have that on hand. If you have a wood burning fireplace, they don't do many of those these days, but those are super convenient. If you have no other heat source or cooking source, you have a wood burning stove, make sure you have some wood on hand. Seeds for your garden. I have found that seeds are a hot commodity right now. Really, really popular. I'm a gardener also. I'm not fantastic at it, but I feel like I'm always learning and trying new things. And if you don't buy your seeds either online or in the store, the second they put them out, they're all gone. I feel like there's a huge spike in the popularity of gardening over the last year and a half. It feels like people want to be more in charge of their own food and where it comes from, and I think it's amazing. Gardening is an awesome hobby. And the seeds aren't bad after a year. I have bought seed packages and used them for 3 years, and they've been totally fine. Like maybe they take an extra 2 days to germinate, they work. If you do not have basic tools in your house, go get them now. I am talking about a hammer, some screwdrivers, nails, screws, a wrench set, an Allen wrench or hex keys, adjustable wrenches, fixed wrenches. I find a socket set to be really useful. A crowbar, maybe a basic sewing kit, things like that. So you can mend clothes if you can't go buy clothes or whatever, or something breaks and you want to be able to fix it. And I find a crowbar wildly useful. They are very, very useful when it comes to peeling up old tile, if you've never done that. Batteries are a really important one because we've got headlamps and flashlights and all kinds of doodads around that can work on batteries, but they're not gonna work if we don't have any batteries. So make sure you go get some of those. I find Sam's Club to be probably the best price for the Members Mark brand on AA and AAA batteries. So just go get a couple of packages. I mean, Christmas is coming anyway, so it just feels like a good thing to do. Lastly, your paper products. And I'm not talking about paper plates, cups, bowls, although you can get those as well. I'm talking about paper towels, tissues or Kleenex, toilet paper, things like that. Here's something super interesting. Tell me what you think about this. In March and April of 2020, there was a run on these products. You could say that some people were hoarding these products and limits were placed on everything. So it's a lot harder now, I think, to go crazy. But here's something else that's interesting. I noticed the big box stores like Costco and Sam's removed the limit on toilet paper and paper towels, like 7 months ago or something like that. And they always had them. I would go in, the pallets would be full, there would be 300 packages, I could get my big package, bring it home, no big deal. But about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, they put a limit back on them, back to like 1 package per person. The second the limit was put on, the shelves are wiped. Because what I suspect happened is people began to panic that they could not get the thing that they needed for their family. And so even if they didn't need it in the moment, they were like, oh, there's a limit. I might not be able to get this next time. I'm getting it now. That being said, my Walmart was fully stocked with everything. And I live in a college town, and those kids go through a lot of things quickly. They are ramen, frozen pizzas, chips, and toilet paper. So it's just interesting how people react to big signs like that in front of the product. I suspect a lot of it is panic buying because we're feeling a little fearful based on what happened in 2020. Basically, this list is to prevent you from feeling that fear. It's so you can feel confident that, hey, if something happens, I got it. I got it, my family's taken care of, no problems at all. Obviously, there are other things you can stock up on to prepare for whatever it is that might happen. I'm just trying to do your most basic list possible. So I'll leave the full list down below along with that link to save 30% on select solid gold dog and cat foods for your pets. Have your Costco and Sam's Club instituted limits on their paper products at the moment? Mine has, but tell me where you're from and if yours are doing it as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.